All right, get ready to dive deep into the world of metabolism and weight loss today, something I know you're all interested in.
Absolutely.
You sent in this ad for a supplement called Sync,
Okay.
and it seems to be suggesting there's a sunlight loophole to losing weight.
Interesting.
Have you heard about this?
Well, harnessing sunlight for weight loss, it certainly has a ring to it, doesn't it?
It
It's
does.
no wonder these types of supplements like zinc are everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking for a quick solution, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to shedding pounds.
Right, and Sync really plays into that desire, don't you think? The way they've written this ad, it's like our clock genes are all messed up because of, modern life,
Right.
and that our ancestors, they had it all figured out because they were bathed in natural sunlight all day.
Yeah, it's true. Our internal clocks, those clock genes, as they call them, they do play a crucial role in how our body functions,
Absolutely.
including our metabolism. And yes, light exposure is key to influencing these rhythms.
Right.
But this ad, while it sounds intriguing, it kind of simplifies a very complex process.
For sure. So basically, they claim that Sync, with its special blend of super nutrients, can like reset these clock genes
Interesting.
and unlock our fat burning potential.
Okay.
They even use these scientific terms like osmum sanctum and camellia sinensis,
Right.
which sounds super fancy, but maybe they're just everyday things with a scientific name.
Well, you're right. Those ingredients might sound exotic, and they do have legitimate scientific names, but they're more commonly known as holy basil and green tea.
Oh, okay.
And both of those, by the way, have been studied for potential health benefits.
Interesting. So they are using real ingredients,
Yeah.
but is there really enough research, to back up these big claims that a supplement can reset our metabolism?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is where we need to start thinking critically.
Okay.
The ad does a really good job of using scientific-sounding language
He does, yeah.
and imagery to make this product seem like it's something revolutionary.
Right.
You see those sleek bottles they use in the ad with the sunrise colors,
I did see that, yeah.
the limited time offers, those glowing testimonials from people saying Sync changed their lives.
Oh, yeah.
It's all very carefully designed to make us want that quick and easy solution.
And honestly, who wouldn't want a magic pill that lets you eat whatever you want and still have a great metabolism?
Right. But I think we both know it's not that simple.
Yeah.
You're right to be a little skeptical here
Okay.
because marketing, it's meant to persuade, not always to give you the full picture.
Right.
While Sync mentions some valid scientific concepts, like how clock genes and circadian rhythms work,
Uh-huh.
they kind of gloss over some pretty important details.
Like what? What are they leaving out?
Well, they make it seem like taking Sync is the only thing you need for a better metabolism,
Right.
but they completely forget to mention how important things like regular exercise and a balanced diet are.
Okay.
And they mention studies on their ingredients,
Right.
but they don't really get into specifics.
Interesting. So they're being a little sneaky with the marketing, but what about the science behind these clock genes?
Right.
What are they and how do they affect our metabolism?
Okay, so imagine your circadian rhythm is like the conductor of an orchestra.
Okay.
It keeps all your bodily functions in sync, make sure everything runs smoothly.
Right.
And the musicians in this orchestra are your clock genes.
Okay.
These genes are found in almost every cell in your body,
Wow.
and they follow a roughly 24-hour cycle,
Okay.
influencing everything from your sleep-wake cycles,
Okay.
hormone production,
Right.
and, you guessed it, your metabolic processes.
So when these clock genes are out of whack,
Yeah.
our metabolism slows down.
Exactly.
Okay.
When our circadian rhythms are disrupted, say by things like shift work,
Right.
jet lag,
Or even just staying up late scrolling on our phones.
exactly, even that,
Ah.
it can really throw our metabolism out of sync.
Okay.
And this disruption, it can lead to weight gain,
Oh.
an increased risk of certain health problems,
Okay.
and it can even make it harder to lose weight.
Wow. So even if we're eating right and exercising, our sleep habits could still be messing us up.
Kinda, yeah. It's like, imagine trying to drive a car, but the parking brake is still on.
Okay.
You might get to where you're going,
Eventually.
but it's going to take way more effort, and you're probably going to cause some damage along the way.
That's a good analogy. That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So back to Sync for a second.
Great.
They mention these studies about their ingredients and how they affect metabolism.
Right.
Are they making this research up?
Not necessarily. It's pretty common
Okay.
for supplement companies to cite studies, but these studies are often on individual ingredients.
Right.
And while there are some studies that show potential benefits, for things you find in green tea or holy basil,
Right.
there's a huge difference between single ingredients studied in a lab
Okay.
and a proprietary blend like this, marketed as a quick fix.
That makes sense. So what kind of research would sync need to have to convince you that it actually works?
Well, for one thing,
Yeah.
they would need large-scale, long-term studies.
Okay.
And not just on animals or cells in a petri dish. We're talking about humans here.
Right. Yeah.
They would need to show that sync, this specific formula, with this combination of ingredients and this dosage,
Okay.
actually works. Not just that green tea in some form might do something.
Right.
It has to be this exact formula.
And I'm guessing those studies would have to be checked by other scientists, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Peer-reviewed and published in a reputable scientific journal. This isn't just some internal report. This is the gold standard.
Right.
And this process is in place to make sure that the research methods were sound,
Right.
that the findings are credible.
Right.
And even then, one study isn't enough.
Oh, really?
No, we want to see these results replicated, multiple studies showing the same thing, before we can say anything, for sure.
So they can't just throw in a few scientific sounding words and hope nobody notices they don't have real proof.
You got it.
Mm.
A little bit of skepticism is always a good thing,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to these products that promise these miracle results.
It's almost like they're hoping we'll be so blinded by the allure of a sunlight loophole that we forget to even ask for,
Okay, evidence.
the actual proof.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder if a supplement isn't the answer here. What can we actually do to, help our metabolism in this day and age?
That's the big question, right? And the good news is
Yeah.
there are things you can do, plenty of evidence-based strategies that can make a real difference.
Okay, good.
And, they're probably not as exciting or as glamorous as a Sunlight Loophole,
Right.
but they work.
Let me guess.
Eating our vegetables and going for a run.
You got it. It
Yeah.
might sound cliche, but those basic principles, they've been around for so long for a reason.
Yeah, they work.
They work, exactly. So, exercise.
Yep.
Our ancestors were so much more active
Oh, yeah.
than most people are today.
For sure.
And regular physical activity, especially strength training,
Okay.
helps build muscle mass.
And muscle, that's like a furnace for your metabolism.
So the more muscle you have,
Yeah,
the more calories you burn,
exactly.
even when you're doing nothing.
Even at rest. That's the beauty of it.
That's amazing.
Right. So,
So even if we can't, fully replicate our ancestors who are out there hunting and gathering all day,
right.
we can at least, go for a walk or hit the gym a few times a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And don't underestimate those everyday activities either.
Right. Wait.
Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, parking farther away,
Right.
walking or biking instead of driving a short distance.
Okay.
All those little things, they add up over time.
They do. That's a good point.
Yeah. And what about food?
Okay, yeah. Does what we eat directly affect these clock genes?
Absolutely. Your eating patterns.
100%.
They're super important for keeping your circadian rhythms and your metabolism running smoothly.
Okay.
One of the best things you can do is try to set a regular eating schedule
Okay.
and try to stick to it as much as you can,
Okay.
even on weekends. It really helps keep your body in sync.
So no more late night snacking, even if my clock genes are telling me to eat cookies at midnight?
Well, I mean,
But right.
it's all about balance.
Right. Yeah, of course.
You got to enjoy life too.
Okay.
But speaking of balance, let's talk about a nutrient-rich diet.
Okay. Yeah. What does that look like?
Focus on those whole, unprocessed foods.
Okay.
Like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins,
Right.
healthy fats.
Oh, good, healthy fats.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those foods, they provide the nutrients that your body needs to function at its best.
It all comes back to the basics.
It really does, those foundational principles.
It does, but I feel like we can't wrap up this deep dive without talking more about sleep.
Right.
You mentioned how important it is for our circadian rhythm.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Sleep, think of it like the reset button for your body.
okay.
When you get those 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep,
Right.
you're giving your body a chance to repair,
Uh-huh.
restore, optimize all of its functions, including, your metabolism.
Amazing. So we might be tempted by a supplement like zinc, but it seems like the real key to a healthier metabolism is those
Yeah.
sustainable lifestyle changes.
Exactly. It's not always the quick fix. It's about
Right.
those consistent, healthy habits.
It's a journey, not a sprint, right?
Exactly. And the best part,
Yeah.
when you focus on those things, the movement, the nourishment, the rest,
Yeah.
you're not just supporting a healthy metabolism.
Right.
You're setting yourself up for better health overall.
I love that. That's a great point.
Right.
So for our listeners who are out there, interested in sync, remember,
Yeah.
there's no magic bullet here,
Nope.
especially when it comes to something as complex as our metabolism.
It's a complex system.
It is. So before you jump on the next product
Right.
that promises amazing results, remember this deep dive.
Yes.
Ask yourself, what does the science say?
Exactly.
And what changes can I make, today
Yeah.
that will make a difference for me tomorrow?
That's the key.
Love it. Until next time, keep asking those questions and keep diving deeper.